During the Omen to Ascendant series, I non-stop played Omen for over a month. In this period, I learned a lot about Omen, so today I want to share everything I learned. From beginner Omen tips and tricks to advanced Omen tricks, overpowered combos and which playstyle you should use, this video got it all. So sit back, relax and let's learn this scary agent. Let's first talk about his abilities, and let's start with the C ability, Shrouded Steps. There are two main ways to use this ability. The first one is to reposition yourself, and the second one is to play aggressive. Let's first talk about repositioning. This is the easiest way to use this ability. When you are standing somewhere, here on Haven for example, always try to think in your head, after I make a kill, what's my next move? You could walk behind the boxes and teleport away for example. This is how it would look like. Now let's talk about the aggressive ways for his little teleport. Here's some advice from Dr. Freeze.
Don't be afraid to do dumb TPs.
And that's true. With one addition, the biggest tip I could give you, never use your Shrouded Steps aggressively without another ability. Use for example your flash first and then try to teleport behind the enemies. Or of course your smokes. A trick I like to do was smoke on top of the truck combined and then teleport inside the smoke to get behind the enemies standing in lamps. And to be honest, it often works. It worked. You just have to keep one thing in mind when teleporting, your camera will face exactly the same way. So if you want to teleport behind the enemies for example, make sure to turn your camera during your teleport. One more bonus about this ability, you could use it to get to off angles or past Sage walls. I mean, look at this clip, Sage did not expect me over here. I think I didn't do a warm-up in this round, but I got Sage in the end, so no worries. Now let's talk about his E ability, his smoke. There's actually not much to say about this ability, just use it like any other smoke. Just two small tips, if you want to go for a sneaky play and chill inside your smoke, make sure you're in the smoke before the enemies are in the smoke. Because of course it's transparent inside, you will have the advantage. However, you could use a small trick. When you hear that the enemies are inside your smoke and they're about to push out, push in at the moment they are about to push out your smoke. It sounds complicated, but you might catch the enemies off guard like in this round. Oh. The other thing you have to know is that the smoke stays for exactly 15 seconds. Why is this knowledge handy? Well, if you place your smoke down, you can look to the cooldown of your smoke. When it hits exactly 15 seconds, it's time to re-smoke. After that, you could wait till your cooldown is over and then you could re-smoke again. And that's very good. For the people who can't really calculate, that's 45 seconds you could stall in a round. In this round, I used this trick and because of the smokes, I delayed the push from B long. Now, instead of all the enemies pushing me at once, I had nice 1v1 battles.
Wait, is it?
Sage coming to you.
Now a small but sneaky bonus trick about the smoke. If the enemies are walking through your smoke and your teammate is killing them, you will get a free assist. And as we know, the more assists you get, the higher average combat score, so the more chance you will get that MVP. So a sneaky trick I used to do was when I saw that the last enemy was somewhere on the minimap and my teammates were about to kill them, use my smoke on the enemy, so I got a free assist. Just look at this clip, my friends.
One enemy remaining.
Nice. Now let's talk about his Q ability, his flashbang. Well, actually, it's not really a flashbang, it's a near sight. You have to remember that. This means that the enemies will be able to see you if you are standing close to them. So my first tip to you, don't use this flash on very short range. However, sometimes you have to use it on short range and when you do that, you have to keep in mind where you are peeking from. Let me give you an example. If you for example know that an enemy is on the left side of hookah because maybe you saw him run away to there, then it's better to use your blind than not to use your blind when you are about to peek. But when you peek, don't just walk straight through the hallway but hug the right side of the wall. Make as much distance from you and the enemy as possible. If the enemy is standing close, then they sadly still will be able to see you, but sometimes when they are blinded, they stress and walk to the back and then it's easy kills for you. Now a very cool trick about this Q ability that I used a lot. Just before the barriers are going down, hug the barrier. And when they go down, flash and peek.
Still in sight.
See, making easy kills isn't really complicated. The last thing I want to say about this near sight is that the biggest mistake that a lot of people are making is that they forget it. Me myself, I also forgot to use this flash too many times. It's a good ability, so use it. I probably would have died if I didn't use it in this round.
Still in sight.
One enemy remaining.
Good. Now let's talk about his ultimate, and if you just pick up Omen, stop teleporting inside the enemy spawn. I know you did it, I've done it, and it's not very smart. After playing Omen for over a month, I found 5 better ways. Let's start with my favorite, the fake smoke teleport. For this one, you simply smoke on a strange spot, on top of pyramid for example, and then you teleport close to your smoke. The enemies think you're in your smoke, so they will shoot it, but in fact you're behind the enemy for some easy kills.
From behind.
I know, it sounds crazy, right? But it really works. Here's one more example. Smoke on top of the boxes and teleport to the back of site. They fell for it. You could also use exactly the same trick, only this time you do teleport inside your smoke. Switch it up so now and then. The second way is to not teleport too deep, but just a little further than your teammates. Behind the yellow container when pushing B on icebox, for example. By doing this, you might scare the enemies off and they will run away from the site, searching for you. That's an easy way to get the site for free.
Whoa.
The third way is to rotate, and don't just blindly rotate, but when you are about to push a site and you spot a lot of enemies on site, 3 for example, like over here, then rotate to the farthest corner on the map. Often you create a simple 1v1 battle and you can win a 1v1 battle, my friend. Easy win for you. Then we have the spike pickup method. When you are using your ultimate, you could pick up the spike and go back. It's a very useful mechanic. In this round, the spike carrier died and all the enemies were standing on the spike. Instead of trying to take the spike over here, I decided to run back to B and pick up the spike with my ultimate and win the round that way. And the fifth useful way to use this ulti, when you think the enemies are pushing, use it, cancel it, and the enemies might not expect it. To be honest, during the whole series I never did this, but I've seen a lot of people making kills like this, so give it a try. Or one more way, the very last one, when you play on the defender side and you think the enemies are rotating, you can use your ultimate to cut them off, like in this round.
One enemy remaining. Spike down.
Now it's time to talk about the playstyle of Omen. Let's start on the defender side. On the defender side, you play like any smoker. Just try to stay alive. Don't smoke immediately at the start of the round, but once you hear something or your teammate hears something, use your smoke on that spot. However, something that's unique about Omen is that he could play very aggressive, even though he's not a duelist, of course. What do I mean? Well, in eco rounds you want to switch things up, of course, right? So what you could do is use your smokes, over here on icebox for example, rush and teleport inside your smoke.
Oh, it worked!
And the same on the attacker side, of course. I think you'll be able to become a good Omen player if you're able to make well-calculated risks. An aggressive Omen can have way more impact in a game than a passive Omen. However, don't become too aggressive, otherwise you will just die a lot. So try to find that perfect balance if you want to play Omen. Another tip about this playstyle is that I would recommend to make a plan before the round starts. There are tons upon tons of different combos you can use with all his abilities. I've shown a lot during this video, so let's do another one. Smoke the middle box, jump and teleport towards nest. Easy, right? But making a plan based on the enemy playstyle, your economy and other factors is really important. You could for example also teleport to the right of rafters if you want to. If you know that the enemy is not usually playing there, you know? Just think in yourself, is this a good round to play aggressive? Where do I teleport to if I make a kill over here? Will I use my util and defend the side or go back and retake with my util? And when you make a plan, you can make nice plays. Smoke in mid for example, teleport on the tube and easy kill. Now, let's talk about the maps. Which maps are the best maps for Omen? Out of my experience, I think Omen shines the most on Bind and Ascent. Smokes are very important on these maps. The angles are not too far and not too short, so you could use your near side correctly. And tons of possibilities with your ultimate. This one, for example, just smoke catwalk and then teleport behind the boxes on catwalk. If you do this while your teammates are pushing, enemies most likely will not have the time to look to you. Easy kills, my friends.
He starts.
On the other hand, the worst map for Omen is in my opinion Breeze. Your smokes are not that useful and your flash is most of the time out of range. And overall, it's Breeze. I mean, who likes Breeze, right? In the end, I think Omen is a very fun agent to play. So try him out sometime. Good luck in your ranked games and I see you guys in the next video. Peace.